Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Becky, and if you're new here then welcome and thank you so much for clicking on today's video. In today's video I have got some Christmas themed baking ideas for you. So we've got 6 different Christmas brownie ideas, we've got some gingerbread ideas, and then we've also got some nice chocolate cornflake treats for the little kiddies to help with as well. So without further ado, grab yourself a drink. I've got last year's little Christmas edition Starbucks cups today, and let's get on with the video. Okay guys, so I've tilted the camera down a little bit so hopefully you can see the first part of the workstation. You might now be missing my little elf headband, but as it is the final episode before Christmas, I wanted to put on my Christmas jumper and my little headband today just to get us all in that festive spirit. So as I mentioned into the introduction, we have got some festive brownies that I'm going to be showing you some ideas how to make. I've got 2 different gingerbread ideas, and then also just like a little chocolate cornflake treat for the kids to get involved in as well. So what I'll do is start off by showing you the brownie ideas. There's 6 different ideas. That's Woody scratching in the background. Woody! So he's completely distracted me now. Come here. Okay, so Woody's now come to join. So we have 6 different brownie ideas. I have pre-made the brownies just so I can show you really quickly how I'm going to decorate them and make them look really festive for Christmas. I did use a box brownie mix, and you can too. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. And with everything else going off at Christmas, with all the cooking, it just takes one thing off the list. So I'm going to put Woody down, wash my hands, and then we'll start off with our first festive Christmas brownie idea. Okay, so I have my plate with my brownie on, and basically I just cooked the brownies in a circular pan. Now obviously I'm just doing one just to show you, but you can cut them into as many of these triangles as you want, and then you can make as many reindeer as you'll see we're going to make as you want as well. So for this Christmas brownie decoration, you are going to want a triangle shaped brownie. You're going to want some pretzels. Now I have thin ones, and just because I already had these in, I thought I'd use them anyway, but last year I used normal pretzels, which kind of work a bit better because they're not as flat as these ones, but that'll do. Then you're also going to want some little candy googly eyes and some little red writing icing. So what we're going to do is, also you're going to want some kind of pre-made icing. Now I just made this with the powdered icing sugar and just some water, just so we can stick the different bits on that we want. Now this is really quick to do and really effective. So what we're going to do is get one of our pretzels, pop a little bit of icing on the back. Now you can use icing or you can use chocolate, whatever you want. And I'm just going to place it in the top corner of the brownie, like so. I'm going to do the same for the other one. Don't put too much icing on because you don't want it to bulge out. Obviously if you're using melted chocolate to do this, it won't really matter because you won't see it on the brownie anyway. So I'm just going to put that antler there. So we've got our 2 antlers. And then you're going to want some googly eyes that are like similar sizes. So that one's a bit big. So I've got 2 eyes. And again, I'm just going to dab a little bit of icing on the back of the eye. I'm just going to place it in the middle of our triangle, like so. And the same with the second eye, like so. And then final touches, and as you can see, this has taken me no time at all. You can get the kids doing this, it's not going to be complicated for them. Little red icing, and we're just going to add a little nose on the bottom, like that. And there you've got your little Rudolph. Now you can always add like a little M&M instead. Anything, it doesn't have to be red icing if you don't have it, but it's just a really easy and effective thing that you can do with the kids this Christmas. So that is the first festive brownie, and that'll look good on any grazing board and sharing platter as well. If you're having friends round, if you're doing a dessert grazing board on Christmas Day with the family, it's going to be really easy and quick to do. So that's the first one, so I'll put that to one side and I'll show you the next craft. Okay, so for this next brownie idea, just move those to the side. All you're going to need is your triangle shaped brownie and some green writing icing. And all we're going to do is do a little tree zigzag on it. So I'm going to start at the bottom or the top? What do we reckon? Start at the bottom, and literally I'm just going to zigzag across the brownie. I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. Okay, so once you've piped it, it should be looking like this. I will show you up close, like I said, afterwards. I'll just put all the other decorations on. So what you can then do is you can either leave it like that, or if you wanted to make it look like a decorated tree, you can go in with some other colour writing icing and just add little baubles on. So I'm going to go in with a red and just add some little baubles. So I do have some pink and white stars, so I'm just going to stick a little white star on the top of the tree, like that. You can obviously add sprinkles to this if you want, but I think I'm just going to leave mine like that. So that's your second brownie design. Obviously, only need writing icing, obviously a sprinkle if you're putting it on the top. Really easy, really quick to make. Again, you can let the kids go absolutely crazy with this. So I'll show you it up close and I'll show you the Rudolph, and we'll move on to the next one. Okay, now this one isn't really kind of festive looking, but I thought if you're doing a grazing board with the other brownies, you might as well add this on, and it uses some of your leftover brownie bits, so it stops anything going to waste. So you want some little square chunks of brownie. You're going to want a skewer, either metal or wooden. I've got a metal one here. And then you're also going to just want some big marshmallows. And I'm just going to literally stack it on. There you go. So like I said, it's not really festive looking, but I just wanted to give you something that's a different option that you can put on a grazing board and uses up your leftover bits of brownie. So we've got this brownie and marshmallow skewer here. If you've got some little dips, you could melt up some Biscoff, get some salted caramel sauce, put it on a grazing board. The kids can go dunk it in. If the adults are having Christmas pudding, the kids don't like that, I'm sure this will win them over instead. So I'll put this to one side, and then the next item we're going to do is, just having a think, a brownie Christmas pudding. So after I made my brownies, I got a circle cookie cutter and I literally just cut out a circle of my brownie. I'm just going to put that down, and then you're going to also want some white chocolate and then your red and green writing icing as well. So I'm just going to melt this white chocolate up. So I've literally just put that white chocolate in the microwave just to melt it up. I'll probably stir it every 30 seconds. And then while that is melting, I'm also going to get myself a little teaspoon, because you're going to want something to kind of guide it to make it look like your brandy cream on your Christmas pudding. So once you're happy that your white chocolate is fully melted, just be careful if you have put it in the microwave, because your cup or whatever you melted it in can get quite warm. And then all I'm going to do is, on the top part of your brownie, I'm just going to place like a little blob of white chocolate, and I'm just going to guide it very gently with the tip of my spoon, and I'm just going to get a good layer on the top, and then I'm going to do drips coming down. So like your traditional like Christmas pudding that you normally see, not on the shops, but you know when people kind of do clip art of it, you can always see like the white dripping down. So that's what I'm going for here. Okay, so once you've put your chocolate on, it should be looking something like this. And then you're just going to want to leave that to set, because then we're going to go in with some kind of holly and red berries on the top and just finish off the look all together. Now, if you do have some little sprinkles, you could put those on instead. I don't really have any Christmas sprinkles. Mine are only snowflakes and candy canes. But I know you can buy pre-done holly leaves, so you could just stick those on instead of drawing it. But we'll come back to it once it's set, and then I'll show you how we're going to decorate it then. Right, so once your white chocolate has set on your brownie, I'm going to go in and just draw some holly on the top. So just on the top in the middle here, I'm going to probably start by adding my leaves on first with the green writing icing. So I've literally not really done any technique at all. I've just kind of gone side to side to make some leaves that semi look like holly. And then just in the middle of them, I'm going to add 3 little red dots. And you should end up with a Christmas pudding brownie that looks something like this. I think this is really effective and really cute. You can even do this with some Oreos. Just drizzle some like white chocolate on them and add in the icing as well. So you can do Oreos and brownies. So I'll show you what this looks like up close. Okay, for the next brownie decoration, now this is the most simple one of all, and it's just for a bit of fun really. So it's something that you can set the kids doing, like I've said with pretty much all of these to be honest, but this one you definitely can. You don't have to be worried about presentation or anything like that. So what you're going to want is, again, you can do a brownie shape in whatever kind of shape you want, but I've just gone with this triangle shape, and you want some icing. So I've just got some powdered icing sugar and some water, and as you can tell, the consistency is quite runny. I didn't want it too thick because what I'm going to be able to do is dunk the brownie in it. So I'm literally getting my brownie, getting the icing, just gently dunking it in the top layer of icing and lifting it off. Now where it has formed a little patch, with a knife you can just kind of go in, or a spoon, and just smooth it out. Now you can either leave it like that and just have it as a white top, or this is where I'm going to go in with some of my candy cane sprinkles, and this is just going to add a nice pop of colour, and I'm literally just sprinkling it on. You're probably thinking, Bex, this isn't really an idea, everyone can just do this. I know, but I thought I may as well add it in, mainly because I wanted to have a bit of fun as well with doing it. So there you've got your candy cane sprinkled brownie. Now you can literally do this in whatever you want. If you've got multicoloured white and green sprinkles, that was a mouthful to say, white, red and green. I think I said white and green, didn't I? Yeah, I did. If you've got some white, red and green sprinkles, or whatever Christmas colours you want, if you've got some gold, you can sprinkle those on as well. And again, it's just going to add a pop of colour. It's something different on your brownie, so you've got a bit of icing, sugar, instead of more chocolate on it. So I'll put that to one side, and I will show you the next one. Okay, so for this one, you're going to want your little offcuts. You're going to want your green and red writing icing. You're going to want some of your melted white chocolate and some chocolate spread, or you can use like chocolate frosting, whatever you want. Sorry. Oh. I did have some sprinkles off camera, and I think one got caught in my throat. So what we're going to do is make some little mini brownie Christmas pudding truffles. So I have got my chocolate spread, and then I'm just going to, with my fingers, just put the brownies into like a fine crumb. So I'm just going to rub them between my fingers just so it breaks them up and I can add the chocolate spread to it. So it just looks something like this. I'm then going to use a tiny amount of this because it won't need loads because the brownies are quite moist themselves. So just like that, add it to the mix. Now your hands are going to get a bit messy here. You can try using it with a knife or a spoon to mix it together, but you're going to have to roll it with your hands anyway. Once you're happy that it's going to hold its shape, just pick up all your bits, Obviously just make them smaller depending on how many off-cuttings you've got. And we're just going to squeeze it into a nice symmetrical ball, like so. Then, once you're happy with your ball, now you can stick this on a lollipop stick if you wanted, or you could just leave it as like a little truffle. Just make sure it's nice and steady. And then, with some of your white chocolate, like we did on the other brownie, we're just going to drizzle it on the top and make it look like a little Christmas pudding. Right, once you've got all your drips, I'm just going to leave this to set in the fridge so it's a bit easier to handle. But as you can see, none of them are really the same size. They don't have to be uniform. It doesn't have to be like really symmetrical, because obviously if you're pouring cream on it, it won't anyway. So I'll pop this in the fridge, and then once it's set, we'll add like the holly leaves on like we did on the other one. Okay, and then once your white chocolate has set, you can go in, and again, you can use like some sprinkles if you bought some, or you can just use your icing, and just like before, you can draw on your holly. I'll show you what this looks like. Now, if you don't have any offcuts of brownie, but you still want to make those little Christmas pudding truffles, you can use some cereal. So I've got some like cornflakes in here, and then I also have some crushed up chocolate orange hoops. So just some cereal. Now I'm gonna crush it up a bit finer just so it's easier to mould. Then you're also going to want some chocolate, like milk chocolate, that you can melt to bind it together, and then your melted white chocolate to do the decorations on top. So with the end of my rolling pin, I'm just going to crush this up, and then I'm just going to melt my chocolate in the microwave again, and then I'm going to pour it into my crushed up cereal, and then we can mould it together to make like a cornflake chocolate bun, but in the shape of a Christmas pudding. What you will find as you're making these is you will be snacking, if you're like me, along the way, which is totally fine. I feel like you need to taste test these things. Okay, so I've melted my chocolate and I've just taken my elf headband off because I actually forgot that I was wearing it. I wasn't planning on wearing it for the whole video, but I just didn't want to get in the way. So, my chocolate's melted, I've got my cereals here, and I'm literally just going to pour in this chocolate to the cereal. Just add a bit at a time, and I'm just going to stir it together so I know it can hold. Now, because I don't want to get my hands super messy, what I'm going to do is get a bun case, and to let it set so I can actually do the Christmas pudding design on it, I'm just going to pop it in the bun case, like that. So I'm going to leave this to set in the fridge, and then hopefully once it has set, we can start decorating it with the white chocolate on top and create that kind of Christmas pudding shape like we did with the last one. And I'm also just going to wash this chocolate off my hands. Okay, so once your little chocolate cornflake Christmas pudding has set, you can take it out, and then all we're going to do is with the white chocolate, like we did with the brownies, we're just going to drizzle it over the top into that Christmas pudding kind of drizzle shape. So I've got my melted white chocolate, I've just had to remelt it, and I'm just going to pop it on the top first, and then with the back of the spoon, just kind of massage it down. Weird way of thinking of it, but that's where he wants to go out. I'll let him out once I've done this. So there you've got your drizzle white chocolate. You can see it coming into shape, but instead of doing holly leaves on this one, now if I did have some sprinkle holly leaves, I'd probably put those on, but I think I'm going to add some little gold sprinkles onto the top of this one. And then I'm going to improvise. I have these little green sprinkle decorations from a Halloween pack. They're actually witches, but they kind of look like holly leaves. So I'm just going to stick those in the top. And then I've got some multicoloured balls, and I do have some red ones in here. So I'm just going to drop those on. And there you have your little Christmas pudding cornflake bun. I'll show you what this looks like up close, and then I will show you what they all look like. Oh, in fact, I've still got the gingerbread to do. So I'll show you what this looks like, and then we'll move on to the gingerbread as the final things. Okay, now obviously the Christmas pudding stuff isn't gonna look completely like 100% pristine. I don't know how else to describe it, but basically it's gonna look a little rough around the edges, but I think that's all the fun of Christmas, isn't it? And it'll still look good on a grazing board. So like I said, once we've done the gingerbread, I'll show you what everything looks like all put together on a little grazing board. But first things first, we are going to do some gingerbread. Now, the first gingerbread you can make are going to look like these. Now, there's no need to decorate these extra because they look stunning as they are. I don't know if you can see like the light shining through the back. But basically, when I was making the gingerbread, I just got another small cutter and I got some little hard-boiled sweets and I just broke them in the middle and then they melt in nicely. So that's the first that you can have. You can have those on like a serving plate. You could use a straw, put a hole through and use them as a hanging decoration. But I just think they're really nice to have. You can even give them as gifts to people. So that's the first idea. So it's like stained glass gingerbread. So you've got like a heart. You can do whatever shapes in them as well. Now for the second lot of gingerbread, these are just normal. So you're going to just want a icing bag with some icing in and you're just pre-done gingerbread. Now you can use a proper royal icing recipe and it's going to set and pipe a lot finer and you can do way more detail. But for this and for the ease of doing it at home, I've just literally used some icing, sugar and some water to try and make it semi-thick but it's still going to be pipeable. And I've just put that in a piping bag, slam that down a bit harder. And then another design idea, so I'll show you the piping, but another one you can do is I have another cookie cutter imprint. So what I've done is just to add like a little sausage dog design, I've just imprinted it in and then you've got that design already and you don't have to do anything to it, which I thought looked really cute. So I'll put those to one side and then I'll just show you a few icing ideas we can do on these ones. So all you want is just a really fine cut at the end of your piping bag. Make sure you twizzle the top and hold it so it stays in place. And then literally, I'm just going to pipe on really generic designs. And if you've already got a cookie cutter in the shape that you want, you can just kind of follow the lines of the cookie cutter. So for like the snowflake, I'm just following the lines that are already there. Okay, so as you can see here, I've just really quickly decorated this snowflake. It's really simple to do. If you did want to do it a bit nicer, you could get some icing pens and draw on a template before you go over with the icing. But there's so many different designs you could do. You could even do something as simple as literally just getting your tree decoration and doing kind of like a zigzag. Another really easy design is on a Christmas tree. So if you've got a Christmas tree cookie cutter, you can just go in with your icing and on like the bottoms of the branches, you can just drag your icing along and kind of form droplets. And it just gives it a really effective frosted snow look. So as you can see here, it's just created a really effective snow scene. So I'll show you what these look like up close. So hopefully you could see all that and hopefully you've enjoyed this video and it's given you some festive baking decorating ideas where you can put together your own little grazing board. So if you have liked this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button also. If you're not ready for the festive period to be over, and it won't be over when this video goes live, but in the meantime over the festive period, if you want to watch some really nice Christmas kind of festive crafting ideas, please do check out the other videos on my channel. Your support means the world to me. I'm wishing you all a Merry Christmas, and there won't be any videos going live now till the new year, so Happy New Year as well, guys, and I'll catch you all in the new year. Thanks, bye!